Welcome back to the Creating Consciousness podcast. I'm your host, Lexi. Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. So sorry for the lengthy hiatus from filming episodes for you all. Thank you so much for continuing to tune in and stick with me. As always, I greatly appreciate you. As you all know, right before my little break, I ended up going to Florida to help set up an Airbnb property with my dad and my stepmom. So that's where I've been and what I've been up to. I hope that you are all having a wonderful start to your summer. It definitely, certainly feels like summer, hopefully, for most of us. I know my friends up north in Canada are suffering with a very dry, very hot summer thus far. And, I am so sorry. I send my condolences to those of you that have been affected by the fires. Of course, here in America, we're hearing a lot of people complain about the smoke, but not that anybody's tragedy is worse than any others. But obviously, for those of you that are affected by these wildfires, I pray that you get the much needed rain very soon. And so with that, again, hope you're all having a wonderful start to your summer. I know that I am for sure. And so without further ado, let's go ahead and get into today's topic, which is going to be on the, ethereal subject of energy healing, how and why it works, especially given or done in a distance type setting or over telecommunication devices. So, all right, everybody, welcome back. As we are kind of on a new endeavor, a new platform, we'll go ahead and do our breathwork practice together. So as long as it is safe to do so, you're not driving or it's unsafe to close your eyes and take a breath. As long as it is safe, close your eyes with me. And we'll go ahead and take our 3 deep breaths. Go ahead and inhale. We're inhaling all positive light, energy, emotion, vibrance, feeling, all of the good stuff, all of the extra energy. And we're going to hold for 3, 2, 1, and exhale. And when you're exhaling, make this really audible. However that feels good for you. And make sure that you're exhaling all of the negativity, doubt, stress, emotion, anything from the day that you've been carrying. Go ahead and release that now. And we'll go ahead and do another big inhale. Again, remember, inhaling all the way, filling up the entire diaphragm, filling up the stomach first, then going up the chest and upper chest cavity. We're going to hold for 3, 2, 1, and then exhale again, making a funny face or a silly sound, whatever floats your boat today. And then we're going to go ahead and inhale for our very last one. Again, remember, filling up the stomach first, then filling up the rib cage, the upper diaphragm, and the chest, making sure you're getting all of that good positive light, energy, and emotion into your body. And then as you exhale, again, make it audible, sigh it out, groan, whatever feels good, scream if you want. Go ahead and get all of that excess energy out of our bodies, fully and totally grounding us into this present moment with each other. All right, everybody. So as we discussed earlier before the break, we are going to be talking about why distance energy healing and generalized healing may work. And what I mean by generalized healing is the, Instagram, TikTok, Reels, videos, whatever, you name it, that people may put out. And it appears to be for kind of a generalized audience. It's not necessarily for one-on-one consumption directly. I've been doing this recently. If you follow me on my TikTok, I've been releasing just every so often oracle or tarot readings, and those are kind of like for the generalized, so to speak, population. The reason why this works, and this is what I wanted to talk about today during our session, is that energy is universal. When you make the switch in your mind, and it is a cognitive switch, it's a reframe in the way that you think about things, the way that you view things, the way that you see yourself within the world, and the way that you understand how you fit into that. So once you make the shift that energy is universal, and because it is universal, it means that all of us have the ability to tap into it, to feel it, to know it. And I mean everybody, everything on this planet. So when we think about that concept and that idea, it then should probably lend to another idea or another thought that we are all connected, because universal energy is connected. It makes sense why we would be as well, right? If we're able to feel this energy, if we're able to stay grounded within this connection, it would make sense why our universal energy also connects us together. And when you take it a step further, understanding this idea of universal consciousness, the collective consciousness, as it were. And when you start to learn about this concept, you start to think of these different ways of being and interacting with not only yourself and the way you interact with the world, but the way that other people interact together, the way that inanimate objects interact with us, the weather, seasons, anything, you name it. There's always a energetic vibrancy within each of those moments. So when we think about our ability to plug in to this universal energy, this collective consciousness, Christ consciousness, as some of you may have heard it be described before, but then also too this idea of universal energy. And when you start to interact with the energy, when you start to interact on that universal scale, it allows you to feel some of the similarities or some of the similar things that are going on within the world around us. So, for example, if the collective is struggling with scarcity mindset, or, right now, UFOs, right? Project Bluebeam, keep an eye on it, folks. That's all I'm going to say. Do have an episode covering Project Bluebeam. If you've not heard it yet, go ahead and listen. I believe it's probably episode 32, I think is what's coming to mind, but take a look, because we have covered that already on this channel. But all that aside, the collective right now may be struggling with the idea that there are actual UFOs out there, and especially because our governments and the powers that be are saying, oh yeah, there's alien spacecraft or warships that we've intercepted or that we know of, and yeah, they're real, and everybody needs to be frightened. Whatever it is, whatever the topic du jour for the day usually ends up being, those are some of the things that the collective consciousness then struggles with. So the struggle of feeling that we're not alone, or the fear associated with the potential realization that we aren't alone, especially for entire generations that have been raised to believe that aliens are negative and that aliens are going to want to kill us or something like that. Regardless, I hope you understand what I'm saying regarding these collective ideas, these collective energies, these collective feelings. So when somebody is tapped into that collective network, call it like a neural network or a superhighway or something like that, when you're connected to that mainframe, so to speak, when you're connected to that highway, you have an ability as an intuitive being to receive messages, receive channeled information or energy, and then actually be able to read that for other people. So when we think about oracle or tarot or other types of energy modalities, specifically ways to read or interpret the energy of the consciousness, those are the things that people are reading. The energy of fear, the energy of maybe not feeling enough, of unworthiness, of you name it. You name it, and there's likely somewhere in the collective that probably has come up. The fact that we feel these things, that we notice these things, cannot be understated. That is us tapping into the collective consciousness, as it were. So when we understand this, then we start to recognize the ability to not only read energy, but for those of us that are able to then manipulate the energy. And remember, I always say we can all do this, but it's at what point in the journey you're in. So you may not be able to recognize, read, or tap into the energy yet, but somebody like myself or other people online, people that are doing Reiki energy healings. If you paid attention 2 weeks ago, I believe, that was one of the things that I posted on my stories on Instagram, was about the Reiki healing energy that Queen Herbie actually posted not too long ago. And it is a good point, because I have heard from people before that they don't understand how or why energy healing works when it's not done face to face. Now, again, if you've been here for a while, you'll know that one of the things that I offer is distance Reiki healing or regulation coaching, whichever it ends up being, but it's all done through distance work like this. And a lot of people cannot understand how somebody like me that is doing this type of work could not only read the energy, manipulate or guide the energy to help them feel any better. A lot of people view it still as kind of like a charlatan or a game or, something of that nature. And that very idea that we talked about initially right off the bat, about having the ability to not only read the energy, but send, receive, manipulate, to fine tune, amplify, uplift, cleanse, whatever it is. How is it that they're able to do those things? Well, it's because of the interconnectedness. It's because of the oneness. It's because of the ability to view, see, interact with, and relay the collective energy and the collective consciousness. So I hope that makes sense. I hope that I didn't just sit here and ramble for the entire duration of the podcast today. But, I think maybe one of the easiest ways to explain this is to show it to you and to show you how you can do this on your own as well. So again, as long as it's safe, hopefully it is, go ahead and just sit back, get a nice neutral spine, roll your shoulders a couple times, roll them down and back so you're not sitting with your shoulders scrunched up, but nice and relaxed. Go ahead and close your eyes. And I want you to put your left palm on your left thigh or your left knee, however you're sitting, and then your right on your thigh or your knee, whichever feels best for you. Go ahead and, if you haven't done so already, close your eyes. And go ahead and just take a really deep, long, slow inhale and a nice, deep, slow exhale. And I want you to just sit in the stillness and the silence for just a moment. Now, I want you to notice any sensations. Just notice anything that you feel. Are you noticing the way that the chair feels underneath you, the ground, your bed? Are you noticing any of the small little sounds or noises around you? Maybe there's large noises around you. Are you taking notice of the outside world? What about internally? What about the way you feel? Are you noticing maybe some energy in the form of butterflies or nerves? Maybe it's nausea. Do you notice the way that energy travels up? Feels like maybe it gets trapped in the throat. And what we're going to do in this moment is I'm just going to remove that. We're going to get rid of it. Now take another really slow, deep inhale. Another slow, deep exhale. And come back into the body, and notice how you feel now. Hopefully, you've noticed that it's now been removed. It's been cleared from the energy. The way that we're able to tap into these frequencies, into this energy, it's the same for everybody. Not everybody has the same experience, of course, but the way that we do this is the same for everybody. The experience that we just all had together, that was the energy of this very moment within the collective. This feeling of being trapped, not being able to speak your piece, speak your mind, say what's on your mind. And this feeling of anxiety, trepidation, fear, down in here, in the stomach, and then as it travels up. And by removing that energy, I basically have just done a very small part within the collective energy to help regulate that again. This is an extremely advanced concept, so I don't anticipate that everybody is going to understand what I'm trying to say with this, and I may not be the best person to speak on this, but I did feel that it was important to bring forward, especially for my audience, for you guys, because it is in line with what we talk about. And I think, hopefully, that it will help some of you understand some of the things that you see online. There are so many people now online trying to make a living providing energy services for others. And I believe as we continue to move through this ascension period, this awakening, there are many, 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 many more people now more than ever that are waking up to the lies and what's been going on around us. And as they do, there's obviously going to be many more people that are out there selling their wares, as it were. And this is the most surefire way to make sure that you are leading yourself with integrity and discernment, and you're able to see others for who they are. Because anybody can say, oh yeah, I read the collective energy, or I read the, consciousness of others. I, do X, Y, and Z with energy. Anybody really can. But when you're tapped in, you're tuned in, just like we just did together, that's going to be your litmus test. It's your ability to judge for yourself how you feel. Because once you can do that, then you can do anything. Thank you so much, as always, for continuing to tune in and spend a little bit of time with me here in Conspiracy Corner. Again, apologies for the very lengthy delay in getting back on this regular schedule. But next week we will be back with our next episode, which is going to be really juicy. So stay tuned. I hope you guys enjoy that one as well. And as always, if you did like the video, please don't forget to give it a like, comment, share, subscribe if you're on YouTube or anywhere else that you listen to these podcasts. And if you do decide to share it with anybody, please don't forget to tag me, as I always love to see where in the world this podcast ends up. As a reminder, if you are listening to this podcast on Anchor, we do also have a donation section that is listed down below, as well as all of the good links and information for you all if you are interested in connecting with me on my other social media platforms. I've got all the links down below. And I also have the regulation guidebook linked as well. So if that is something that you're interested in, please don't forget to take a look. And with that, I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day today. Again, if you are being affected by any of this crazy wild weather or the fires. Please stay safe. And until I see you next week, be loved, be well, know that you are love. I love you, and we'll talk soon. Namaste.